We got to talk about Nikita Khrushchev. We got to talk about Nikita Khrushchev. So here you go. Here's Nikita Khrushchev. He's the man of the year at Time magazine. Some point in time, they called him the man of the year. Good old Khrushchev, huh? Good old Khrushchev. There he is, waving at somebody. There he is, pointing at somebody. There he is, holding his hand, looking like he's gonna shake his hand, or maybe he's saying, "And look over here. Look at this asshole. Look at this asshole over here. Look at this." Let's get a nice, good picture of him with the glasses. Nice steely eye. There you go. All right. Good old Nikita. Good old Nikita. Now, what did Nikita Khrushchev have to say? Well, Nikita Khrushchev, he had to say a couple things, okay? Nikita Khrushchev, he had a couple things to say about goddamn Lenin. This goddamn, not Lenin, Stalin. Stalin. Khrushchev confined his indictment of Stalin to abuses of power against the Communist Party and glossed over Stalin's campaign of mass terror against the general population. Khrushchev didn't object to Stalin's activities before 1934. How convenient, Khrushchev, which included his political struggles against Leon Trotsky, Nikolai Bukharin, and Gregory Zinoyev, and the collectivization campaign that liquidated millions of peasants and had a disastrous effect on Soviet agriculture. Blah, blah, blah. That's just a bunch of German propaganda. Observers outside the Soviet Union have suggested that Nikita Khrushchev's primary purpose in making the speech was to consolidate his own position of political leadership by associating himself with reform while discrediting his rivals in the Presidium, aka the Politburo. The Presidium, the Politburo, by implicating them in Stalin's crimes. So this is Khrushchev's secret speech, or all about Khrushchev's secret speech. Although subsequently, Nikita Khrushchev read to groups of party activists in closed local party meetings his speech. It was never officially made public, not until 1989. The speech was printed in full in the Soviet Union. Oh, shit. The Soviet Union printed it in 1989? Damn, they're getting brave. I mean, Stalin only was dead for what, 5 years? Nonetheless, it caused shock and disillusionment within the Soviet Union. Stalin was bad. Stalin did bad things. I can't believe it. I thought he was good and awesome and never did bad things. I don't know if I can go on anymore. Stalin's reputation and the perception of the political system he established was hurt. He misused that great power. We entrusted him with great power, and Stalin abused it. It also helped give rise to a period of liberalization known as the Khrushchev thaw, lessening of censorship, easing of the totalitarian dictatorship. The first part of the testament suggested that the Central Committee be enlarged. It also stated that the most serious threat to unity within the Central Committee was the strained relationship between Stalin and Trotsky. That Lenin was on to something. Lenin was like, man, we're doing pretty good. Us communists, Bolsheviks are kind of kicking ass, taking names, but shit. This beef between Stalin and goddamn Trotsky, this isn't looking... It's not looking too good. Maybe Bukharin, maybe Bukharin. Maybe we can get that Bukharin in here. Hey, Bukharin, how come you didn't resolve this beef between Stalin and Trotsky, you son of a bitch? You son of a bitch. So Vladimir Lenin, Vlad the Impaler, he asserted that Joseph Stalin was not cautious enough to be entrusted with a bunch of power that he had personally accumulated, and that although Trotsky was the most capable individual on the Central Committee, he was actually too self-assured and overly inclined towards purely administrative functions. Oh, that damn Trotsky is too confident. Trotsky's too goddamn confident. And he's more of a fucking bureaucrat. He's a, fantastic bureaucrat. Not really a leader. Not really a lead. More of an admin, admin person on the admin campaign. More like a secretary or a treasurer. Not a president. More like a prophet. Not a president. Bernie Sanders. More like a prophet. Not a Khrushchev's secret speech. So what do we... The Testament also said this. Buck Herron was the party's most eminent theoretician, and in spite of him not knowing the dialectic, also warned that the party should not condemn Kamenev and Zinoviev for their behavior in the October 1917. It was actually November. Why do we call it October? It's November, you asshole. November 6th. They opposed the Bolshevik coup d'etat, published the plans for the insurrection. So that's another thing. The damn Bolsheviks, they benefit from, people don't, is it October or is it November? I don't know. I think it's November. Well, I think it's October. Oh my God. It's the Gregorian calendar. Who? Who's Gregorian? Not who's Gregorian. It's Gregory. And oh my God. Fuck. After Joseph Stalin had died in 1953, Nikita, good old Nikita Khrushchev, good old Nikita. Hey everybody, I'm Nikita Khrushchev. I'm just, being a good old Nikita Khrushchev. I just kind of, just do my Nikita Khrushchev thing here. Just Nikita Khrushcheving. What you up to? He was one of several party leaders who jockeyed for the Soviet leadership. February 1956, Khrushchev, by now established as leader, delivered a speech titled On the Cult of Personality and Its Consequences to the Communist Party. Congress, in this address dubbed the secret speech, Khrushchev condemned Stalin's use of oppression and brutality, attacked the Stalin personality cult, questioned Stalin's leadership during World War II, and accused his predecessor of economic mismanagement. Facts prove that many abuses were made on Stalin's orders. What? I thought Stalin was like Martin Luther King Jr. Turns out this Stalin guy he killed a lot of people. He was not for nonviolence. He was more of a Weather Underground kind of person, not a civil rights kind of person, but more of a Weather Underground kind of person, not for nonviolence in any way, shape, and form. This damn Joseph Stalin, we got to keep an eye on this. Without reckoning any of the norms of the party and Soviet legality, Stalin was a very distrustful man, sickly suspicious. This is Khrushchev. Facts will prove many abuses were made on Stalin's orders. He was distrustful, sickly, suspicious. We know this from our work with him. Khrushchev said he could look at a man and say, "Why are your eyes so shifty today? Your eyes seem a little shifty today, you son of a bitch. Why are you turning so much today and avoiding looking me directly in the eyes?" A sickly suspicion created in him a distrust of everybody, even towards eminent party workers whom he had known for years. Everywhere and everything he saw enemies and two-facers. You damn two-faced spy, you two-faced enemy son of a bitch, you two-faced son of a jackal possessing unlimited power. He indulged in great willfulness and stifled people morally as well as physically. A situation was created where one cannot express one's own volition. When Stalin said that one or another should be arrested, it was necessary to just accept on faith. Now, whenever Stalin said a person was the enemy of the people, then fuck it. He was the enemy of the people. Meanwhile, Beriah's gang, which ran the organs of state security, outdid itself in proving the guilt of the arrested and the truth of materials which it falsified. So what the fuck? Stalin said you're guilty, you're fucking guilty. And how did they find the proofs? What were the proofs that were offered? It was confessions. They were able to get tortured confessions from the arrested. The investigative judges accepted these confessions from the tortured arrested. And how's it possible that a person would confess to crimes which he didn't commit? Well, there's only one way he's going to confess to crimes he didn't commit. Because of the application of physical methods of pressuring him, tortures, bringing him to a state of unconsciousness, deprivation of his judgment, taking away his human dignity. In this manner, That's how confessions were acquired. Joseph Stalin's reluctance to consider life's realities and the fact that he was not aware of the real state of affairs in the provinces can be illustrated by his direction of agriculture. All those who interested themselves even a little in the national situation saw the difficult situation in agriculture, but Stalin never even noted it. Did we tell Joseph Stalin about this? Yes, we told him, but he didn't support us. Why? Because Joseph Stalin, he didn't fucking know shit. He never went out of the goddamn... Joseph never traveled anywhere. He didn't meet city and coke hose workers. He did not know the actual situation in the provinces of Russia. He knew the country and agriculture only from films. And these films are dressed up and beautified the existing situation in agriculture. Many films pictured kolkhoz life such that the tables groaned from the weight of turkeys and geese. Evidently, Stalin thought it was actually so. Look at all those turkeys and geese we are providing to the people. Khrushchev. On the other hand, Khrushchev points out Lenin was close to the people. Stalin was distant from the people, but Lenin was close to the people. Lenin spoke at the factories. Lenin would take in peasant delegates. He would take a public bath, as Lincoln put it. That's how Frederick Douglass got into the White House. Vladimir Ilyich Lenin looked at life differently. He always was close to the people. He used to receive peasant delegates and often spoke at factory gatherings. He used to visit villages and talk with the peasants. Stalin separated himself from the people and never went anywhere. This lasted 10 years. The last time he visited a village was in January 1928 when he visited Siberia in connection with grain procurements. How then could he have known the situation in the provinces of Russia? Comrades, if we sharply criticize today the cult of the individual, which was so widespread during Joseph Stalin's life, if we speak about the many negative phenomena generated by this cult of individual, which is so alien to the spirit of Marxist Leninism, some may ask, how could it be? Stalin headed the party in the country for 30 years and many victories were gained during his lifetime. Can we deny this? In my opinion, the cult of the individual, only by those who do not understand the essence of the revolution and of the Soviet state, only by those who do not understand in a Leninist manner the role of the party and of the nation in the development of the Soviet society. In the speech Khrushchev called, he recalled Lenin's testament, a long suppressed document in which Vladimir Lenin warned that Stalin will likely abuse his power. He cited numerous instances of excesses of Stalin abusing his power. Outstanding among these was Stalin's use of mass terror in the Great Purge in the mid-1930s, during which, according to Khrushchev, innocent communists were falsely accused of espionage and sabotage, and they were unjustly punished, often executed, often after they had been tortured into making bullshit confessions. Khrushchev went on to detail specific examples of Stalin's persecution of his enemies. He recounted the imprisonment and eventual execution of Robert Ecke. Robert Ecke, E-I-K-H-E. Ecke had been posthumously pardoned, rehabilitated. Prior to the secret speech, Khrushchev said that Stalin's treatment of Robert Ecke was a criminal violation of revolutionary legality. So, just like what fucking George Washington going after the fucking what rebellion? What was it? Not the Whiskey Rebellion, but the Shays Rebellion. Robert Ecke is just like fucking Daniel Shay. He's a revolutionary and they're going to fuck over a fellow revolutionary. Khrushchev also referred to the 1949-1952 Leningrad affair, a post-war Stalinist purge of the Soviet Union's political elite. The alleged crimes we have now proven were fabricated, said Khrushchev. Modern historians agree that between 1949 and 1950, fabricated claims of corruption were made against Alexei Alexandrovich Kuznetsov, Nikolai Voznesenskiy, Leningrad's leaders Pyotr Popkov and Yakov Kapustin, and former Leningrad officials, including Mikhail Rodionov, Prime Minister of the Russian Republic. They were arrested in 1949. After being interrogated, they were shot, killed in October 1950. 2,000 other people with tenuous links to the accused were imprisoned or exiled over the following months and years. Nikita Khrushchev went on. He just keeps on criticizing. Just criticize. Jesus Christ, Khrushchev, with your fucking bitching and complaining. The question arises, why is it that we see the truth of this affair only now? And why did we not do something earlier during Stalin's life in order to prevent the loss of innocent lives? It was because Joseph Stalin personally supervised the Leningrad affair, and the majority of the political bureau members did not at that time know all the circumstances in these matters and could not therefore intervene. At the start of January 1923, Vladimir Lenin dictated a scathing letter that criticized Joseph Stalin's role in the Communist Party, urging those in power to remove him from his position of power and warning about his intentions. Lenin ordered that in the case of his death, this scathing letter should be delivered to the party. A year later, Vladimir Lenin died. There was immediate outpouring of grief across the nation, and those in the Communist Party vowed to carry on his ideology. Crucially, Leon Trotsky, a strong candidate to be the new leader of the nation, was away from Moscow in the 3 days following Lenin's death. A rumor spread that Trotsky was so confident in being elected the new party leader that he had left Moscow before Lenin's death in order to return to the city as leader of the nation. The truth was he was recovering from a serious illness at a special medical center. When Lenin's funeral proceedings were arranged, Joseph Stalin sent Trotsky a telegram urging him to return to Moscow. Crucially, Stalin had purposefully given Trotsky the wrong date of the funeral, causing him to miss it, and allowed Joseph Stalin to take the spotlight throughout the entire funeral. The battle for secession had already begun. He who learns must suffer, and even in our sleep, pain, which cannot forget, falls drop by drop upon the heart, and in our own despair against our own will comes wisdom by the awful grace of God. As ironic as it sounds, the fundamental foundations of a revolutionary are great feelings of love.